Hey everybody, I'm Eric Oberembt, and you're listening to Be Authentic or Get the Fuck Out. We talk about real shit, what's on our minds, and don't give a fuck if it makes you feel a little uncomfortable. So sit back, strap in, and get ready for some real shit. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Be Authentic or Get the Fuck Out. I am your host, Eric Oberembt. The way that we like to start everyone, we are sponsored by D&M Roofing and Siding because they fucking pay for everything. And Roofers in Recovery, they don't pay for anything, but we give them all of our money. Welcome back to another episode. This was kind of an impromptu sit down. I got a text message from my friend, Boris Altman, and said, I'm in Omaha. That was fucking it. And so I didn't know if that meant, hey, let's have lunch. But then I read the underlying undertones and it was, hey, can I come in and do a podcast? Because he's very needy. So I would like to introduce my friend, Boris Altman. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Thanks for having me, brother.
How are you?
I'm super needy and I'm really glad that my needs are met today. So I'm really excited about that.
So for the guests out there, just an FYI, we have prepared fucking nothing. But this is kind of how the best ones always go.
I like it.
Right? Like when we were down in, was that at RCAT?
Yeah.
We were down in RCAT. There was nothing planned, and you didn't get to be part of that, Lexi. We sat down, first it was Boris, Pate, and Paul. John?
John
Dye.
Yeah, Paul came on, and then all of a sudden you're just walking. No, you were standing there, right?
Yeah.
And we just dragged you in there slowly by slowly. You sat down at the table.
And then we ended up going for like an hour about bullshit.
Yep.
And it was hilarious.
Yeah, I think an hour and a half over the time we were supposed to spend on there.
Yes. They were definitely trying to get us off of the camera. Yeah, but it worked out. So hopefully this will just be a reenactment of that.
I like it.
So let's introduce you to everybody and kind of tell us where you're from and how you got here.
Yeah, so I grew up in Roswell, Georgia, born in Azerbaijan, which is a small country next to Iran and Turkey. It's part of the USSR when I was born. When it broke up, my family came over here when I was about 4.5.
4.5.
4.5.
Okay.
4.5. My way into this, where I'm sitting at today, definitely was not anything planned. It was definitely a bunch of fuck ups and achievements that honestly got me to the seat and being able to, just interact with the people I interact with. So,
didn't she like fucking DJ or some shit?
I did so much stuff.
We gotta find the video.
So I emceed, but I do have a music video that definitely went viral. It was about
something else.
It was about fidget spinners.
It was.
For all
you haven't seen that, have you, Lexi? Oh, it's fantastic.
If for any of my ADD people and my ADHD people, the song is definitely made for you.
Oh my God, yes. We'll put a link to it in the podcast when we post it.
Yeah.
So you came over, you grew up in Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay. And you didn't move around a lot. You stayed there.
Stayed there.
Correct?
Yeah. I think the first time I moved was when I went to college.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I went to military school though, growing up. So
tell me about that.
Yeah. So,
I don't know if I knew that.
No, you might have not known that. So I was let's call it a fuck up growing up my entire life. And it wasn't like,
welcome to the club.
It wasn't like I did it intentionally. Nothing along those lines. It was more of like attention seeking. And we'll get to what that led to. But the attention seeking got me in a lot of trouble. Always wanted to be maybe the class clown, but more just like seen. And that got me in trouble. Needy,
if you will.
Yeah. It labeled me as a problem child. Sure. I was always good in school, but you didn't see that because you saw the problem child that came with it. So my parents thought, my grandfather, honestly, he was in the military for 32 years. And he thought the best idea for me was structure and military school. So 13 years old, 12 years old, pack up all my stuff. 7th grade, I am in an all guys boarding school.
Oh shit.
It's only 45 minutes from the house, but it
could have been 1,000.
It could have been 1,000. Yeah. You're in an environment of 500 guys from 7th grade to 12th grade. And when you thought you cared what other people thought, that was the place where you cared because you either didn't want to get your ass whooped or you wanted to be safe.
And did you stay there and graduate there?
So I didn't graduate. I graduated from another military school because I was a fuck up, right?
Got kicked out of that one?
Got actually twice. Okay. First time for getting in a fight I was in 8th grade and I got in a fight with a junior in high school and I beat his ass and somehow his parents were paying more money than we were. And I got suspended, kicked out for the rest of the semester.
Wow.
Then I came back and then later on, it was, I think my sophomore year, all these things added up, and finally we wanted to go see some girls. So me and a couple friends decided to make some fake faxes from our parents to let us go out. And one of them was during Hurricane Katrina. And when he got a fax from Georgia, his parents were like, where is this fax coming? You're from Louisiana. And so it didn't make sense because everybody was fleeing from there, and we got caught. And so that led to more getting in trouble. And I got kicked out for good.
Got it. So then you went to another one and graduated from there.
Went to a public school. And then was like, I'm not going to make it here. So another public school. And I was like, definitely not public school's not for me. So back to military school. Yeah.
Man. Okay. Yeah. So you finished that and then you went to college.
Went to college. Yeah.
And that was when did you start DJing?
Yeah. So I started emceeing. I would say I was 20, 21, 22.
How do you get into something like that?
My roommate, he's a DJ. He was pretty big in the local scene, nothing crazy in the outside scene. And he'd play all these events that didn't really mean something. So I was like, can I get on the mic? I got on the mic one time, and a couple of people came up and they're like, man, you have a really you sound black on the mic. And it's like, you should do that. And I was like, okay. So I did it, and I used my way of getting places where I probably shouldn't be. And I ended up backstage at somewhere and got on the microphone with a big DJ, which led into more big DJ events. And then I started touring and getting into play on the mic all over the country in different places all over the world.
So why'd you get out of that?
No money into it. So as an MC, you don't have any work product, right? I mean, even hype voices and stuff like that, it doesn't pay the bills. Luckily, I got out because, COVID hit. And if I was still doing that that would have been a problem. But I did work a regular job. I did tech sales for years. But I left that to pursue the music career. So I left a good paying job to make no money. Pretty much selling drugs along the way. And one of my friends reached out, Tristan, and kind of shifted me out of there. Gotcha. And that's kind of how I got into this industry.
The best entrepreneurs and salespeople sold drugs. I say that 1,000 times over.
No question.
Right?
About it,
everybody that sells drugs or that sold drugs that ended up not going to jail or dying are the guys winning today.
And it depends. And you could always see the type of drug dealer, right? You had the drug dealer that owed everybody money.
Yep.
That guy sucks.
That guy sucks.
Always sucks.
He wasn't running a business.
No, he was not. Nah. He never saw the money aspect of it. And there were some people that shit happened, right? But you could see their intent. And those guys could still make it. And you guys knew how to operate the money and operate a business.
Right.
Change it over. You got a business operation.
Yes. Right. How long did you do that for?
A long time. I did it different segments, right? Yeah. I think my biggest stint was probably right during that music thing. I mean, we
Makes
were
sense.
a lot. And then I had a friend that he got busted and he took the hit for everybody, and he's sitting in prison right now. And
still?
Yeah, still to this day.
Holy fuck.
I talk to him every week, send him money. But he allowed me pretty much to get out of that and move forward. That was around the time I met my wife.
Wow.
And it was I'll tell you what, it was honestly
so he could have taken everybody down.
He could have taken everybody down. And I sent that man probably $200 a week, which I asked him, I was like, can I send you more? He's like, what am I going to spend it on? Right. I mean, there's only so much I can spend. So we'll take care of me and a few friends, take care of his kid and things like that. But he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to sit in prison. He said, do not fuck with these people, and took the hit on everything. And it was allowed me right when I was meeting Cassie. And I was like, okay, I can make a change, or I can keep doing dumb shit.
Does that drive you?
I don't think it was that drove me. That wasn't what drove me. Because in the beginning, I still didn't give a fuck, right?
Yeah.
I was still partying. I was still emceeing. Didn't move into, I think it was about a year and a half when I was really okay, this is the time to make a shift. And I think the driving point was when I realized she was I was not good enough for her and she was too good for me. And I was I never liked to be in that place. So it's not that I want to be, I just knew I could be better. And why would I not be the better version of myself? And
no, 100%. I'm just curious how much that look back on the fact that somebody sacrificed
1,000%
for you.
1,000%.
You know what I mean?
I slowed the train down completely, but I couldn't it's impossible just to walk away, right?
No. Yeah. But I mean, once you dove in and said, I'm going straight, or whatever you want to call it. That was when I
made that shift, because I did not what he's doing today, the time that he spends every single day sitting in a cell, sometimes for 23 hours.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Does he ever get out?
Yeah, he took the drug course, stuff like that. This was 5 years ago, and he should be out in 3 years, which is crazy because if you knew the amount that he got busted with, he got lucky. There was a couple of different errors that happened in his case, which allowed it to decrease because he probably get life. He would probably win the life. Yeah. Yeah. He got lucky.
That's an amazing story though. Like, cause everybody needs, and again, this isn't, I understand like this isn't your why, right?
Yeah.
But it's still there.
Yeah.
And I would have to imagine like, it would be for me, like it would be sitting there daily or weekly to be like the moment that you would have a thought of like, I could go down this road. Right.
Yeah.
And that thought would have to pop up of like, and sacrifice what this guy sacrificed for me and piss that all the fuck away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how not only would you be
he's sacrificing
disappointing
his
your family and everything else, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing, right? That's obvious. But to know in the back of your mind that this guy is living in literally a hell so that you could have an opportunity to be who you were supposed to be.
Exactly.
And not the pile of shit that you were.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. And
that's powerful as hell.
You know, that's a disappointment that you don't want to make, not only to yourself, but to the person. That's a spit in their face if you really
my God, 100%
If I ended up right next to him, you'd be like, bro, I could have snitched you out and I would be sitting here
with my
time.
family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
oh, wow. That's really fucking powerful.
Yeah.
I want to meet him when he gets out.
He will. And so I told him, I said, listen, and I was listening to your last podcast with the guy from the Solar, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he said it didn't matter where you came from, and I agree with that. I say that all the time. It does not matter who the fuck you were and what the fuck you did. This is a place where you're accepted, and it's up to you to get to wherever you want to go.
Yep.
And so I told him this. I was like, you don't have to go back. I was like, I found you something that you might have not known about that's going to allow you to pretty much make almost the same amount of money without the, that. So there's a roofing company out in Georgia that, I mean, they love those types of people, right?
Yeah.
They can read if you're going to be lazy or not, but they love those types of people because they know that they were in a place where they didn't have a second chance and they got one.
Yeah.
And so when he gets
There's
out,
no more people making six figures than there are drug addicts and roofing.
Yeah. legally too now. So so he's got a job ready to go when he gets out to start selling roofs. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's a really cool story. And like, what an amazing dude.
Yeah.
Like I want to meet that motherfucker.
Yeah. 1000%.
Like that's the kind of guy I want to know.
Yeah.
I just want to know him,
Yeah.
like that's awesome. Okay. So we did that. Let's get into, we were talking about this downstairs a little bit because I talk a ton about my past and my sobriety now. And you get in as deep as you want and not as deep as you want, but people that listen and watch the show, I bet 50% of them are in recovery or went through struggles in their life in that regard. And I think that they listen here a little bit just to have someone to relate, to understand that other people have went through the same shit that they've went through or are going through right now, like as we're talking, and they don't see the light. They don't see the light at the end of the tunnel because how could you, right? Because when you're sitting in that darkness, it doesn't seem like you can come through that tunnel and there's ever going to be light, right? Yeah. And so I'm very intentional about when people are here that have went through that and they've been in the darkness, but they found the light, to touch on it at least a little bit and tell people a little bit about what you went through. And again, not reiterating the stuff that we already talked about, and then how you broke through, whether it was a person or a moment or you know what I mean? Yeah. Like whatever it was. But if you could just give us 5 minutes on that, however deep you want to go, but I think that's important for the audience.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you this, when I used to share my story, one of the biggest things that I noticed some people did, like I went to AA, NA and things like that. And I always found the most miserable people usually had 25 to 30 years. And it wasn't everyone, right? You had the ones that were very happy, very content. That was the driving force that like allowed me to see. I think the thing that really hurt me the most is when people shared their story, they spent 90% of the time talking about how they got fucked up and didn't do that. So I don't want to spend my time there.
Right.
Here's what it was. Growing up, I came to a place where it was a different country. I spoke no English whatsoever. On a plane, I learned my name. Boris is my new name. 30 days, I learned how to speak English, but I always felt like I never fit in.
You were 4.5 though.
4.5. But like mentality wise, as a kid, you start feeling these things, right?
Yeah.
My first experience, I'm sitting in a playground. They're like, who is this? Who is this? And I'm like, no. My name is not who. Is this Boris? And so like there's those things. It's like, it automatically made me feel like I did not belong.
Yeah.
So as I got older, I always realized that how do I fit in is by making sure I'm the loudest person in the room. Right. And now I use that completely different today. The loudest person in the room is because that is who I am. Right. I am the loudest person in the room. But I didn't do that intentionally in the right way. I did it because I needed the attention versus doing it because that's who I am. They're just loud, right? Yeah. I'm a loud person. And so as I got older, I used different things to mask it. First, it was making fun of myself. Then I got really fat. Then I lost a lot of weight. And I think like as I got older, I never shared it. I didn't know who to talk to. My parents were always working. I mean, we came to a country, both of them worked 3 jobs, spent a lot of time at the house by myself or somebody else's house down the street.
What skill set did they come to the country with?
So, I mean, my mom was a teacher.
Not to go off track.
No, my mom was a teacher, really didn't like have any skill set like that. My dad was a restaurant entrepreneur out there. And so he took that skill set and worked for Pizza Hut and like a corporate level, like things like that, and went into the food industry. But there was no skill set where they had a degree where they could change it over. My mom's college degree didn't transfer over to America. Right. But they knew that this was a better place for us to live. Yeah. And they knew that they would do anything for it. Right. I did not see that. So I was like, of course not. Like I see friends with their parents and I'm like, what is wrong with me? Right. Right. And that's how, and I never shared that. I didn't know how to share. Russians don't just share their emotions. Right. My dad would call me a pussy if I share my emotions. Yeah. And so, it got harder and harder, and like this.
And he might have been right, but that wasn't the reason.
I was a pussy, sure, 1,000%. Aren't all 6, 7-year-old kids, boys, fucking pussies? Yes. But the problem is like I did not know, like mentally, you know what I'm saying? It's just getting worse and worse and worse. And as I'm getting older, more things can become present, right? You get to smoke some weed, or you get to drink some alcohol, or the next level thing is you get into the harder stuff. And eventually you find something that masks that emotion. Yep. Alcohol never did it for me. Right. Right. Weed clearly doesn't. It just makes me hungry. Right. Right. And his uppers, I'm just 2 in my head. It was the depressants and downers, right? It wasn't alcohol, those downers. It was the opiates that is tearing apart. And it's like, that was the thing I found. And eventually it wasn't about masking it. It got physical, right? I mean, and so I died 3 times. And I realized on my 3rd one that I was not going to die. I was either going to live that miserable fucking piece of shit life or I was going to get better. And I think that was the waking moment. It's like, and I tell this a lot of people, I've buried a lot of friends. And one thing that I've told people, especially guys that have died, when they ask me like, how'd you do it? I was like, I had to find peace either 2 ways, down there in the ground or here, right here with myself. When I found that, and I honestly realized that I don't care what other people think, because that's the shit that drove me. And when I got being able to get sober and clear-minded of it, that's what really allowed me to start getting more comfortable with my skin. Right. And so like there's people that they're in the rooms for the rest of their lives. And I applaud them, but don't be in there for the wrong reasons, right? Right. If you're sitting there bitching about everything that's going on and you keep talking about your drug use from 40 years ago, right? What have you solved in that room? Right. For me, it was like I knew what I need to work on, and sometimes I'm here, I go down here, but I know how to pick back up, right? And so, I mean, a lot of people don't know when to put that shovel down. So,
no, I mean it's a real thing, and and obviously, I mean, you know, I'm passionate about it, you know, just because of Roofers in Recovery and trying to help people and whatever, because I mean, it's so frustrating and hard because you talked about, you know, that you've buried a lot of friends. And I was literally just having a conversation this morning with Paul and a couple other guys in Roofers in Recovery, and these people that we're helping, and we send them to treatment and they get out and they're gung ho, right? Like they are on fucking board until they're not, right? And it's such a struggle because you want to do it for them, right? Like you want to fucking do it for them, and you're like, fuck, you know what to do, and you like this will literally save your life, and they still sometimes can't grasp it, or they think they have a better way to do it. You know what I mean?
It goes back to that statement. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's either you find peace in the ground or with yourself. Yeah. And nobody's going to do it for you. No. Nobody's going to do it. Like I can take your hand and be like, come on this way. Yeah. But you're not ready. You're not ready. Right. And that's like the sad thing, but the support is really what
so that's exactly what I was going to say, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're doing AA, NA, fucking whatever it is, right? The whole idea is that it's a group, it's a support group of people around you. And maybe that is your family. Maybe that is, you know, whatever it is. But if you have that support level, that understands you though, right? Because here's my guess, and I could be completely off base because I don't know your wife that well. Yeah. But my guess is that she doesn't understand that part of you.
So it's like hit or miss. She understands because she's seen it, right? In her own personal, like with her brother. But I don't think that anybody
understands because she hasn't done it.
That's what I was getting to. Yeah. Nobody truly understands. Like, I don't understand what an alcoholic goes through because I don't know, but I know what they're going through, why they're doing it, right? And unless you've literally had to use something else to bury whatever that shit that wants to make you kill yourself, you don't know. Right. You really don't know. You might have gone through adversity in 19,000 different ways. This is a completely different type of adversity because you're not the same person you are.
No.
You're really not.
No, you either want to live or you don't.
Yeah, that's it.
Right? Because I know for a fact that if I would have continued down my path, I would 100% be dead or in jail. Yeah. I mean, I was starting to get into selling lots more coke. You know, I was the guy that was like bought retail once and was like, that's fucking expensive. Like, that's stupid. I'm like, can I buy a lot and like sell it to my buddies? Like, so I can get it cheaper for me.
Yeah. And then you start making money.
Well, I wasn't the best businessman with my coke. No, I used it. Yeah. Like,
you got high on your own supply.
Yeah, I'd have ounces. Well, and then we'd have girls over. Oh, right. Like, I mean, fuck, they'd get it all. Yeah, I mean, they'd get it all. It was free. Like, have you ever met a girl that paid for coke?
Yep. Oh,
no, neither have I.
You think about it. Maybe if they were going on like a girls' weekend with no guys around, they might buy it. I don't know them, but I've never actually at the club. Nothing. No, I've
never seen a girl pay for cocaine. No. I bet they don't even know what it costs.
It's actually really funny. A few years before, I think it was a few years back, we asked that. I was like, "How much do you think this is worth?" And they're like, $50, and it's like, yeah, this is worth like 600. And I was like, how much do you think this is worth? And it's like a small amount. Oh, $400. I'm like, no, they have no concept
That's
of
hilarious.
A ball. They don't know what that is. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was the only reason I learned the metric system. I didn't understand it. They were like, this is.
I would never know ounce breakdowns or gram breakdowns or any of that stuff if it wasn't for
drugs. Yeah. No, I didn't know what a gram was. I was like, it's 10 of them equal something. I was like, I think that's all I ever learned in school was that it was tens. Yeah. That was all I got. But back to what we were saying, though, I just think that it's so important for people to understand that if you're going through something right now, or you did, or you know somebody that is, you can't make them stop doing what they're doing. All you can do is figure out a way to support them or put them in touch with the right people to be able to support them in the right way because they understand what they've been through and are going through. Because you as a non-alcoholic or a non-addict or never been through that life before, you can empathize, but you can't relate. Yeah. And there's a huge fucking difference. There's nothing wrong with empathizing. Don't fucking sympathize because then you're an asshole, right? But you can empathize, but you can't relate. So you have to get that person, in front of somebody that can relate. Because I will say, after every speaking engagement that I do, every podcast that we do about recovery, I have people call me, text me, come up to me after I speak, and they're like, can I talk to you about my son? Or can I talk to you about my friend? Or can I talk to you about whatever? And I'm like, absolutely, but you can't fucking do anything. And because that's what they want to do, though. And they're like, where do I, how do I make him stop? And I'm like, you fucking don't.
You're making it worse right now just by asking that question. Cause I know that you're not going to stop there. Right. It's only making if you're a drug addict or alcohol abuser, whatever you are, that's what drives you to do more. I remember when people will come to me and be like, Boris, I'm like, okay, you just go to another room, whatever. Right. Yeah, it's like, I'm just not going to show you more of that. Correct. So,
so you have to lead them down a path to meet the people that they need to meet to be able to get the help that they need. Yeah, so exactly. I love that. So I'm glad that you are not that guy anymore. No. Yeah. How good does that feel? I mean, because how long has it been?
So 2000.
Because you still drink. And
I still drink. I still smoke. So it's been 11 years. So March 13, 2011 was the last time I ever did any downers. So it's been 11 years.
That's awesome.
That's crazy, right? It's been over a decade. And even since that over a decade, my best friend brother, he was the best man at my wedding. I had to bury him a year. It was on April 25th last year. Remember, I broke my wrist and shoulder going to his event. Yeah. And And that was the hardest one that hit the most. I had a tattoo of our other friend right here.
Yeah.
And I remember 2 days before it, I was like, I don't want to put your name up here.
Did he die of an overdose?
He died of an overdose. And like he stopped using, but you know, people just have those, like, it doesn't go away. It's like people forget that 30-year alcoholic sitting in that room that's complaining, given the right opportunity, I guarantee you he will and she will drink or she will do drugs. And it's like,
if they don't stay vigilant,
if they're not aware and understanding what's causing the issue, none of that's not doing it.
Right.
It's you inside. That's what's doing it. And that's the problem. People don't know how to fix.
So 11 years.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go to, thank you for sharing that. I think that's, again, I think that people watching, listening do appreciate people sharing and understanding that there's a way out.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. And that even if you're not the person that's suffering, you always fucking know someone that is. It just seems like, especially in our industries, you know, that we're in here, you always fucking know somebody that's going through something.
1,000.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, again, just support and find the right people to connect them with so that they can have a community, so that they can have a network of people that can support them.
Yeah, I mean, even in sobriety, you don't just pick the first person to be your sponsor.
No,
right?
No.
Like I remember I went through like 3, and then the 4th one really got me to open up with him. When we sat down, the first thing he said is like, let me start. This is the fucked up thing about me. And he just laid it down, right? I'm not going to share it, but it was really fucked up. It really struck me. I was like, whoa, maybe I'm not as fucked up as this guy. And so that like literally opened me up. And like, honestly, it takes that, is really knowing that that person's not going to judge you and allow you, because that's what's keeping it. So you're not sharing it with even yourself, honestly. Like yourself in your head, but until that comes out of your mouth, you really feel like you're just burying it.
Right.
And it's like, when you are able to get it out, that's when you can start working on it. Yeah. So, I mean, I encourage anybody that's like, it's like, no one's going to give you that help. You got to make that decision, or stop fucking shoving people's problems in their face, because that's not what they want to see.
Correct.
That's not it.
What would you pick for your last meal?
Man, honestly,
I got a cool answer the last time I asked this to somebody.
So there is this place called Umi. It's a sushi place in Atlanta. And I mean, you go in there, you run a tab of $500, but they have this one, this tuna belly that sits on a rice with this oil, and it's just so tasty. Yeah, I would have about. That's it. I would have about 100. Oh, you can only have one, right? Or can I go more? Surf and turf. Then I'd have a filet mignon
with it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. All right, we'll go with that. All right, that was fun. I just wanted to throw that in there and just fucking get that. So I really like this question, and I try to ask it to a lot of people that come on. But what's something people seem to misunderstand about you?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, I like that.
So, from what I hear, and this is not like blow my own horn, a lot of people come to me and say you're very real. Like I can just sense that. What people misunderstand about me is sometimes people think of like I'm angry at times. It's weird. Like I always I'm not angry, but sometimes people come up, they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm completely fine." And it's only like a small amount of people that ask that question. Yeah, anybody that's like really tuning in on me, but sometimes I guess I have a resting bitch face when I'm tired, and I've been going to 5 conferences back to back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's really it. I mean, you get like what you see is what you get, and what you hear about me is exactly what you're gonna get when you see me.
All that.
I mean, as much. Yeah. I'm either if you heard if I'm loud, I'm loud.
Right.
You know.
So, how upset are you that I'm moving 8 blocks away from Pate?
So I wanted to ask the question, and I didn't know if it was public.
This isn't going to air for probably like 6 weeks, so we're good.
Well, there we go. You know, I'm kind of really salty and upset because there was a house 8 blocks down from me that opened up.
Right.
And it's almost like 6,500 square feet. I don't know what you got getting at this house, but it could be bigger.
It could be.
And it could be about $300,000 less than what you're paying for.
Could be. Yeah. But
I'm really upset. But the question is, it's not, am I upset? Is it Paul Reed upset?
Paul is excited for me.
Yeah.
He's excited for Natalie and Tegan.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Is Pate your best friend, or what is the best friend connection in that? So
this is how I answer this question now every single time. It's whoever I'm with at the time.
So we're best friends today, huh? No, I'm not in that mix.
No.
I just let myself down every time I ask that question. It just doesn't work.
You don't spend enough time in Omaha or with me.
Well, Pate doesn't spend any time in Omaha anymore, but
they come back for a holiday. I think they came back for like a holiday or something.
I'm coming to Houston more often.
Okay.
But I'm not ever going to go to Pate's. I'm just going to keep coming to your house.
Well, that's fine.
Because I heard yours is bigger.
It is. We've got too many bedrooms that I don't know what the fuck to do.
That's a problem
with it. So yeah, we're gonna fill
more
them up.
Kids.
Nope.
No.
I'm old as fuck.
You never
no
know.
more fucking kids.
No.
But we're just an easy flight away.
Yeah. Houston to Atlanta is a much easier flight than here. Plus, like, what are we gonna do? Go eat sushi with Tim with no sauce?
Right. And no sesame seeds and fucking everybody watches him shit out of his mouth.
Oh my God. It's bad.
He's such a problem, isn't he? God damn. So that's happening. So that's exciting.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
I mean, I honestly thought it was bullshit when I heard it. And I didn't really believe it. And the first thing you tell me is like, so I'm moving to Houston. I'm like,
so the funny thing is that
okay,
the way that it sounds like you fucking heard it was exactly how we told Dipshit not to
say anything. 1000%.
And then we're sitting in the car and he's like, well, I didn't say who. I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. I just said maybe.
He knows how to just say everything without the name, but all the context clues could only mean one person, right?
It's because he's a fucking attorney.
Yeah,
it's an attorney bullshit thing.
He's like, but if you came back in court, Pate, did you say no? I did not say that. I did not relay any kind of message. I can't dictate their feelings if they misunderstood.
Right. If they want to interpret it this way, motherfucker.
He knows it. He knows his game.
Okay, I think this is a good one to finish with, and this kind of circles everything back to what we talked about in the beginning. If you could turn back time and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you tell him?
Keep going. Right. I mean, 18 years old, that was when like my mess was getting really, really, really bad. And I don't think I would have changed it.
So that was my question, because people ask me that all the time. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
Because if I did, I wouldn't be who I am today.
I know
who I am today.
I wouldn't even sit at this table.
Right.
I wouldn't be in this industry. I wouldn't be married to the person I am. I wouldn't have the son that I have today.
Right.
Shit. I wouldn't even know any single person in these rooms at all. And so, no, I wouldn't change it. Was it scary? Yeah. For sure. Was it hard? Fuck yes, bro. Yeah. The lows I've ever seen in my life. And do I, like, looking back, do I know is there a different way? Of course, I could open the doors of every single option that would have never led me to that hard part. But that hard part is what gave me that adversity, right? That ability, because I know I'm going to have harder shit down the line.
Right.
That was the hardest thing I went through. Have I gone through harder stuff? For sure. Has there been hard moments in my life? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, probably. I guarantee you, when I had to go back to my best friend's, graveside. I mean, every day is something difficult, but those are the things that set me up for being able to feel and act on it.
So keep going.
1,000.
Keep going.
Don't change anything. Make the mistakes that you're going to make. Hopefully, you don't die along the way, right? I mean, because that's a possibility.
So keep going. Try not to die.
Try not to die, and just know there's always a silver lining to any moment.
Right. I like that. Okay, so this is how we end every episode.
Well, hold on. Before we
sorry.
Before we end, you were saying earlier about how Roofers in Recovery does not donate, but you spend all your money. So I just, as we were talking, is like, how many people have you guys sent this year or planning on sending this year?
So since the inception, we've sent over 20.
Okay.
I don't know the exact number in 2022, how many we've sent. Somebody just got out a week ago. And they're actually part of our documentary that we're filming. So Lexi's actually helping, and she's filming the entire, we're putting together an actual full-length documentary that we're going to release. And we followed one of our clients to treatment.
Oh, wow.
And then we went across the country and went and interviewed Paul's old counselor and my old counselor. And they brought up old notes from my sessions when I was in rehab.
Sure, yeah.
Yep. And
was that crazy to hear?
It was and it wasn't, because it was basically.
You remember everything?
No, but what they said was obvious. Very strong-willed, and and it's yeah, obviously,
we know that person.
I wasn't really a problem when I went to rehab. I was there. I didn't want to be there necessarily for the first week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But then after I had my little epiphany moment, I made a decision to work it and listen and pay attention or whatever. But it was interesting to get that feedback, from them. But our goal obviously this year is we want to raise enough money to send 50 people.
How much does that cost?
$750,000.
$750,000.
So we got National Roofers in Recovery Day. So that's an ask that I'm asking from all of my industry partners. You know, obviously in your space and all that is what we're trying to do is because it's June 3rd. So we've got a month until it happens.
I've been telling a lot of people about that.
And so we need to get contractors across the country to sign up to donate the profit, not pay your subs, pay your suppliers, donate the profit. So $10,000 roof, $3,500 donation, right? Donate the profits from one roof, build it on that day and document the build, because then we're going to put that into the documentary as well, showing every contractor across the country, you know, doing a roof for Roofers in Recovery. And if we can get 100, we're at like 70, 75 contractors right now.
Oh, wow.
And so if we can get to 150,
you'll be able to get really close.
We'll be able to hit about $500,000. And then we're hoping to raise the other 250 through the other events and stuff that we're doing with the golf tournament and all that kind of stuff. So,
well, I just want to donate $500 today.
Brother.
Let me pull it out.
Yeah, cash is good. Yeah. Oh, look, he's actually got cash.
1, 2, 3,
Motherfucker says he stopped selling drugs. My ass.
I did stop selling drugs.
Look at that. Look at that, everybody.
$500.
$500
Not a lot.
for Roofers in Recovery. Thank you. That's amazing. But yes, I mean, help with the network. Like that's what is really going to get this across the finish line is fucking all of our industry partners, like getting a hold of contractors saying, this is important, be part of this.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee there's going to be a handful of the companies that participate are going to have somebody that is going to eventually need our help, you know, and we want to be able to have the funds available to be able to send them, you know, to treatment and have follow-up programs. Cause we've got goals of like opening halfway houses and like doing all kinds of aftercare stuff and, you know, like being part of their journey for a really long time. So like we've got big aspirations.
I mean, we're in an industry where like, I mean, labor and things like that, it's like the highest drug use. Sales is the highest drug use.
You know, and most of it's sales and owners that we deal with because these guys have no fucking skill set. Like they don't think they do, right?
Money.
And then, or they're ex addicts or they're criminals or they got out of jail or whatever, right? And they don't have a pot to piss in. And somebody says, hey, you can sell roofs and make 6 figures. And they're like, for real?
Yeah.
And then they go do that, but they don't know how to keep the money.
No, they don't know how to snort the money.
They go fucking make 10 grand in a week, get a $10,000 check in a week. And they're like, that is a lot of Coke I can buy. And that's what they end up, and honestly, and that's what they end up,
what happens. Yeah.
That's what they end up doing. And so then they go sell 150 roofs and, you know, make 6 figures. And at the end of the year comes and they're like, boss, I ain't got no fucking money. Because you put it up your nose, dipshit.
1,000%.
You know? So like, that's why we try to set up people with like financial advisors and like, you know, get them in front of the right people so that they can actually learn how to keep the fucking money.
Not just get sober, but how to set up their life, which is
right.
Great.
Yeah. And so that's the goal. So if we can hit that, like that'll really push us into the stratosphere. We're going to do we're doing a gala in September. That's going to be part of another conference that's rolling out. And it's going to be like a black tie dinner affair thing.
Where's it going to be?
Raising money in Denver.
Okay.
Yep. And it's going to be cool. We're going to have a couple really cool guest speakers, have a dinner deal there and obviously try and raise funds, you know, during the event, but that'll be a lot of fun. So I'll keep you updated.
I just love how this is like transcribed in your life. Cause I remember when I first met you, we were like some Italian restaurant in downtown Omaha. Remember like right in the downtown Omaha area, you came in, we were sitting down eating dinner and you just popped in there. Do you remember that?
No.
That was the first time you and I ever truly met. It was like almost like 5 years ago.
Like actual downtown, like old market downtown?
Old market downtown. We were sitting in there.
Who's we?
Me, Kyle, Pate, MK, I think like a couple of us just sitting
like
there.
Like a steakhouse or
I think it was Italian. It was a restaurant. And you showed up, you came in. And
was I invited?
I don't think so. I don't know. You just popped in there.
I don't pop in downtown.
I mean, I'm telling you.
That's fucking far.
1,000%, because I remember I was like, hey, do you want a drink? You're like, no, I don't drink or do alcohol. I don't drink or do anything. And I said, okay. But then you were like, but I used to be this cool guy in Omaha. And then you told me all that. But it was just crazy because like I've watched you, like, you know, I knew your story and I knew how passionate you were when you were starting this. Yeah. And just how I love how you've been able to allow your business to grow in its own way while you're able to grow yourself in all different aspects of this stuff. So
it's been a journey.
Fuck yes, bro.
Thank you, bro. Yeah. I need to research that story though, because I don't remember that at all.
We were at I'm sure Pate might know, but it was a restaurant in Old Market. It was right on the corner. I just remember like wherever the restaurant is, there's wouldn't say it's like a balcony, but there's like a railing right here on the corner. Tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Spaghetti's, right? Is that the name of the place? Spaghetti?
Spaghetti works.
Is it a restaurant or is it like
where the upstream is now? Oh, that could have been. I bet it was.
It's like 4.5, 5 years ago.
Interesting. I'm gonna ask Pate about that.
That was the first time we ever met. Yeah, the first time we came in. Yeah,
interesting. That's awesome. Well, that's a great story. All right. Do you have anything that you want to leave everybody with? That's how we always end. I always give the guests the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is like what I would love to see. It has nothing to do with any of the roofers or covered any of that. This is just completely separate. And for anybody in this industry, quit being so fucking fake. Stop being so fucking fake on the internet. And like, you'll never see me go into a chat board. Remember that one PA was like trying to dog me and I was like, just kept quiet. And you came in. That guy, I don't even know is a PA anymore.
No, probably.
So, right. Because I didn't say anything because like that, I knew that guy would probably not be a PA anymore in this industry.
Right.
Stop fucking being so fucking fake. Like your shit smells more than the next person. And if that could ever happen, I feel like our industry could be just so much better.
There's too much ego.
So much ego.
So much ego in the industry that I don't ever see that happening. And I think that the answer to that always is all we get to do is make sure that we're above the fray and we're doing things the right way, because the only thing that we can control is what we do.
It's on our street, our side of the street,
Because I have moments where I would get very irritated and upset with that kind of shit too. And then I realized idiots are going to be fucking idiots.
1,000%.
Right? Like, and I'm never going to be able to convince somebody to not be a retard.
No. Just don't feel their fire, because I think that's what that's the problem. It is
hard sometimes. Though,
those idiots are still gonna do it, but like it's when people feel the fire. As soon as somebody puts a little bit of gasoline, that trail just keeps going.
Just fucking do one of those. Just stirring.
Yeah.
Pate's starting to learn how to stir.
I think he's always learned how to he's always learned how to subliminally stir, and now he's getting a little bit more vocal on it.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
I think it's as he's getting older and he's getting his bald spots coming in. So
I think you're right. Yeah. I think that's got something to do with it.
For sure.
All right, buddy. Hey, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. Thanks everybody for tuning in and listening. Hopefully we'll hear you next time. Please subscribe and like and share and all that happy horse shit.
Click the link below.
Yeah, do all that stuff. So as we end every podcast, remember, be authentic or get the fuck out.
You can't be authentic. This here interview's finished. Get the fuck out if you can't be authentic. Get the fuck out if you can't be authentic. Get the fuck out if you can't be authentic.